Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're going to be talking about a very special topic.
That's right. This topic was actually suggested by one of our listeners.
Exactly. So keep those comments coming because we want to create lessons that you need, that you want.
Exactly.
So what are we talking about today?
Today's lesson is about applying for a visa.
A very, very important topic.
Yes, and specifically, it's about a visa interview.
Exactly. As you all probably know, when you apply for a visa, especially for the US, you have an interview
Yes.
where you have to answer some questions.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So before we jump into the dialogue, let's take a look at vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
Okay, so let's talk about visa.
Right. A visa, it's not a credit card.
No, not Visa or MasterCard.
No. So a visa is an official document that you get in your passport that allows you to travel legally to a country.
Exactly. So with this document, you can go into a country. Okay, so we have different types of visas. Today we're going to be talking about a B2 visa,
Right. A B2 visa is a tourist visa.
a tourist visa.
Yeah.
This is only for the United States. Other countries may have different classifications for their visas, but B2 is for the United States.
Right. So, Marco, we use a tourist visa when we want to be a tourist and just travel in the US. What about a resident visa?
Well, you can have a temporary resident visa. Like, for example, an F1.
Yep.
An F1 is for foreign exchange students
Yeah.
who go and live in the States maybe for a year or do a MBA for 2 years or 3 years. So that's an F1 visa. You can also get a J1 visa,
Yeah.
which is a temporary exchange visitor.
Okay.
So it could be to maybe do some temporary work for 2 or 3 months and then go back to your country.
So basically, a resident visa allows you to live in that country.
Yeah, you can live in that country legally for a determined time. Okay, so let's listen to our dialogue. Where are we going to be exactly?
In this dialogue, we're going to hear two people, a visa officer and a person who's applying for the visa. Now, the person who's applying for the visa has an accent, right?
Yes.
But this is really good practice for helping you to understand people with different accents.
Exactly. So let's listen to the dialogue and then we'll come back and explain all the great vocabulary.
So you're applying for a B2 visa. Where's your final destination and what's the purpose of your trip to the United States?
I'm going to visit my brother. He's just had a baby. He lives in Minneapolis.
And how long do you plan to remain in the United States?
I'll be here for approximately 3 weeks. So here's my return ticket for the 26th of March.
And who's sponsoring your trip?
My brother. Here. This is an invitation letter from him. I will stay with him and his family in their home.
All right. Tell me about the ties you have to your home country.
Well, I own a house. Actually, I'm leaving my dog there with my neighbors. I have a car at home. And my job? I'm employed by Tornell as an engineer. Actually, I only have 3 weeks vacation, so I have to go back to work at the end of March.
And what evidence do you have that you are financially independent?
Well, I do have assets in my country. Like I said, I own a house and see, here's a bank statement showing my investments and my bank balance.
I'm sorry, sir. We cannot grant you a B2 visa at this time. Instead, you are granted a resident visa. Congratulations! You are the millionth person to apply for a visa. You win! Congratulations!
All right, what a lucky guy. He applied for a tourist visa and now he's getting a resident visa.
Yeah, that's great. But does this really happen,
No.
Marco?
No, that would never happen at a consulate.
Okay, well, we can dream that this might happen for us.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's take a look at the words in language takeaway today.
Language takeaway.
All right, on language takeaway, we have sponsoring.
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 So, Erica, what does it mean to sponsor somebody?
When you sponsor somebody for a visa, you take care of them and make sure they have enough money.
Okay.
So you are the one who's responsible for all of their expenses and making sure they just have enough money.
Okay. So, for example, when I was 16, I made a trip to another country.
Yep.
And my parents were my sponsors.
So they took responsibility for your money.
Exactly. Okay. Let's look at our next word. Invitation letter.
Invitation letter.
Invitation letter.
Invitation letter.
Now, this is a really important part for a visa application.
Yes, very important.
What is an invitation letter?
Well, an invitation letter is a formal letter that a friend or a relative or maybe a business writes to ask you to come to their country.
Exactly. So you're being invited for a specific purpose to the United States.
Yeah, and you have to give this letter to the visa officer.
Okay. Invitation letter. Our next word. Ties.
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 Looks exactly like tie, like the one you wear in your suit.
Not quite the same though.
All right, so what are ties?
The ties you have to your country are the things that keep you attached to your country.
Okay.
That make sure that you will return to your country.
Okay, so what are some examples of ties?
Like maybe a house or a wife or a child or maybe some money in your bank account.
Okay.
Or a job even.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, a good way to think of this is imagine like a rope that's attached to you and tying you to your country, to your house, to your job, to your kids.
Okay, so you can't run away.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, that was clear, but let's listen to some more examples of how we would use ties.
Example 1.
I sold my house and closed my bank account. I don't have any more ties to my home country.
Example 2.
Alvin enjoyed being single. He wasn't ready for the ties of family life.
Example 3.
Diplomatic relations have improved, and the ties between the two countries are stronger.
All right, it's clear now. Mm-hmm. Let's look at our next word. Financially independent.
Financially independent.
Financially independent.
Financially independent.
So that means that you don't need anyone.
That you have enough money.
You have enough money for yourself.
Right. So you don't have to ask your parents to pay for your ticket or pay for your food or whatever.
Okay. And our last word for today. Assets.
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 Okay, so your assets are kind of like your ties.
Right. There are things of value that you own, things that are expensive that you own in your home country.
So it would be a house,
Yep.
a car,
Yep. Maybe stocks
stocks,
or investments.
Okay, so all of those things are your assets. Okay, so we've seen a lot of great words, and I think it's time for us to listen to our dialogue again. We're going to slow it down for you.
Yeah, this will help you understand it a little bit better.
So, you're applying for a B2 visa. Where is your final destination, and what is the purpose of your trip to the United States?
I'm going to visit my brother. He's just had a baby. He lives in Minneapolis.
And how long do you plan to remain in the United States?
I'll be here for approximately 3 weeks. See, here's my return ticket for the 26th of March.
And who is sponsoring your trip?
My brother. Here. This is an invitation letter from him. I'll stay with him and his family in their home.
All right. Tell me about the ties you have to your home country.
Well, I own a house. Actually, I'm leaving my dog there with my neighbors. I have a car at home and my job. I'm employed by Tornell as an engineer. Actually, I only have 3 weeks vacation, so I have to go back to work at the end of March.
And what evidence do you have that you are financially independent?
Well, I do have assets in my country. Like I said, I own a house. And see, here's a bank statement showing my investments and my bank balance.
I'm sorry, sir. We cannot grant you a B2 visa at this time. Instead, You are granted a resident visa. Congratulations! You are the millionth person to apply for a visa. You win! Congratulations!
Yay!
Okay, today we're not going to do our regular toolkit like Fluency Builder or putting it together.
No, we're going to do something a little bit different today.
We're going to talk about the questions you will probably be asked at an interview for a U.S. visa.
Yes.
And the useful language that you can use to answer these questions in a good way. Okay, so let's take a look at our first question.
Where is your final destination, and what is the purpose of your trip to the United States? Where is your final destination, and what is the purpose of your trip to the United States?
So this is probably going to be the first question the interviewer is going to ask you.
Yeah, so Marco, I know you have a lot of experience with U.S. visas. How should we answer this question?
Well, it depends on what you're doing, right?
Right.
So if you're a tourist, you would say, I'm going on vacation to New York or anywhere. Also, if you're visiting a family member, like in our dialogue, you would say, oh, I'm going to visit my sister or my brother or my cousin. If you're applying for a business visa, then you would say, oh, I'm going to visit a company or etc.
Right.
So you just have to say why you are going to the States.
Now, is it important to be really specific?
Yeah, the more specific you are, it's probably better. So if you can name the state and the city where you're going, it's much better.
Okay. All right. Well, let's listen to our next question.
How long do you plan to remain in the United States? How long do you plan to remain in the United States?
Okay, so this is a really important question also because in your application, you have to put how long you plan to stay in the U.S.
Right.
It's a pretty straightforward answer. 2 months, 1 month, 3 weeks.
Right. But you just have to make sure that your answer matches
what's written in your application form.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, now let's take a look at our last question.
Tell me about the ties you have to your home country. Tell me about the ties you have to your home country.
Well, I think this is maybe the most important question that they'll ask you, right?
Yeah, this is the most important question. This is what the interviewer is most interested in.
Okay, so why is he interested in this?
Because he has to be sure that you will not become an illegal immigrant to the United States.
So that you will return to your home country.
Exactly. He or she has to be convinced that you're going to return to your home country.
So how can you convince him?
Basically by demonstrating your ties.
So showing the things that will pull you back to your home country.
So if you take documents to support this, bank statements, maybe a copy of your mortgage.
Yep, like maybe your wedding certificate.
I don't know, even a letter from your office, from your job.
So that shows that you have to return to your work.
The more things you bring, the better, even though the interviewer might not ask for the documents.
Okay, it's better to be safe, right?
Exactly.
So come with a huge file full of things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've had friends who've arrived to the embassy with a huge file of documents and weren't asked to show any of the documents.
Right.
But other interviewers will maybe ask for it. Okay, so now let's listen to the dialogue again.
And you'll hear how our traveler answers these questions.
So you're applying for a B2 visa. Where's your final destination, and what's the purpose of your trip to the United States?
I'm going to visit my brother. He's just had a baby. He lives in Minneapolis.
And how long do you plan to remain in the United States?
I'll be here for approximately 3 weeks. So here's my return ticket for the 26th of March.
And who's sponsoring your trip?
My brother. Here. This is an invitation letter from him. I will stay with him and his family in their home.
All right. Tell me about the ties you have to your home country.
Well, I own a house. Actually, I'm leaving my dog there with my neighbors. I have a car at home. And my job? I'm employed by Tornell as an engineer. Actually, I only have 3 weeks vacation, so I have to go back to work at the end of March.
And what evidence do you have that you are financially independent?
Well, I do have assets in my country. Like I said, I own a house, and see, here's a bank statement showing my investments and my bank balance.
I'm sorry, sir. We cannot grant you a B2 visa at this time. Instead, you are granted a resident visa. Congratulations! You are the millionth person to apply for a visa. You win! Congratulations!
Well, I hope this was a useful lesson for all of our listeners, because I'm sure that in one point or another, in the future, you're going to apply for a visa. Mm-hmm. So now you know all the language that you need to more or less answer all these questions that you're going to be asked.
Yes. And Marco, I'm sure that people have already applied for visas for the US, right?
Probably, yeah.
And I want to hear from our users any stories that they have about applying for a visa.
Yeah, that would be great. I know that I have some stories to share on the comments board. Mm-hmm. And we want to hear your questions and comments and any suggestions.
Applying for a visa. Understanding what a visa is. A visa is an official document that allows a person to enter, stay, or leave a foreign country for a specific purpose and period. It is usually stamped or attached to a passport, showing that the person has permission to travel. Different countries have different visa requirements, and the process of obtaining a visa depends on the purpose of travel and the country issuing the visa. Some people need a visa before traveling, while others can get a visa upon arrival at the airport. There are different types of visas based on the purpose of travel. A tourist visa is given to people who want to visit a country for sightseeing, vacations, or to visit family and friends. This visa usually has a short validity period, such as 30 days or 90 days, depending on the country. A student visa is issued to individuals who want to study at a school, college, or university in another country. To get a student visa, the applicant usually needs to show an acceptance letter from the educational institution and proof of financial support. A work visa is required for those who want to work in a foreign country. This visa often requires sponsorship from an employer, and the applicant may need to provide proof of their qualifications and job offer. A business visa is for people who need to visit another country for business meetings, conferences, or negotiations, but do not plan to take a job there. A family or visitor visa is issued to individuals who want to visit their relatives in another country for a temporary period. Some countries also offer medical visas for people who need to travel for medical treatment. Each country has its own visa rules, and some nations allow travelers from certain countries to enter without a visa for a specific time. This is called a visa exemption or visa-free entry. For example, citizens of the European Union, EU can travel freely between EU countries without a visa. However, other travelers may need to apply for a visa before they can enter. Getting a visa can be a complicated and time-consuming process. Many visa applications require people to provide personal information, travel details, financial records, and other supporting documents. Some visas require applicants to attend an interview at an embassy or consulate. Mistakes in the application or missing documents can lead to visa rejection, so it is important to follow all instructions carefully. Understanding what a visa is and why it is necessary is the first step in the application process. In the next part, we will discuss the important documents needed for a visa application and how to prepare them properly. Preparing the required documents. Applying for a visa requires gathering important documents to prove your identity, purpose of travel, and financial ability. Each country has different visa requirements, but some documents are commonly needed for most visa applications. Preparing these documents carefully increases the chances of visa approval and makes the application process smoother. The first and most important document is a valid passport. A passport is an official identification document issued by a government, allowing a person to travel internationally. Before applying for a visa, it is necessary to check the passport's expiration date. Many countries require the passport to be valid for at least 6 months beyond the intended stay. Some visas require at least 1 or 2 blank pages in the passport for the visa stamp. If the passport is damaged or about to expire, it is recommended to renew it before applying for a visa. The next important document is the visa application form. This form collects personal details, travel plans, and the purpose of the visit. Each country has its own visa application form, which can usually be filled out online or on paper. It is important to provide accurate and truthful information, as any mistakes or false details can lead to visa rejection. A passport-sized photo is often required with the application. Different countries have specific photo requirements, such as background color, size, and facial expressions. Most embassies or visa centers provide guidelines for acceptable photos. It is important to follow these instructions exactly, as an incorrect photo may result in a rejected application. Proof of travel arrangements is another essential requirement. Many visa applications ask for a round-trip flight ticket or a flight reservation. This proves that the applicant plans to return home after their visit and does not intend to overstay. Some embassies accept flight reservations instead of actual tickets to prevent financial loss in case the visa is denied. Accommodation details are also necessary. Applicants may need to show a hotel booking confirmation or a letter of invitation from a friend or relative who will provide accommodation. If staying with a host, embassies may require an invitation letter that includes the host's name, address, contact details, and a statement confirming that they will provide lodging for the applicant. Financial proof is another crucial requirement. Many countries want to ensure that visitors can support themselves financially during their stay. Applicants are often asked to provide bank statements, salary slips, or tax returns from the past 3 to 6 months. These documents show the applicant's financial stability and ability to cover travel expenses, such as accommodation, food, and transportation. Some countries set a minimum amount of money that a traveler must have in their bank account. A travel itinerary is also an important document. This is a detailed plan of the trip, including places to visit, activities, and transportation details. It helps the visa officers understand the purpose of the visit and how long the applicant plans to stay. A well-prepared itinerary can strengthen the application. Some visa applications require a letter of employment or a no-objection certificate, NOC. This letter, issued by the applicant's employer, confirms their job position, salary, and approved leave for travel. If the applicant is a student certificate from the school or university may be required. For business visas, a letter from the employer or business partner explaining the purpose of the trip is usually needed. For travelers applying for a student visa, additional documents such as an acceptance letter from the educational institution, proof of tuition payment, and academic records may be required. Student visa applicants may also need to show proof of financial support from parents, sponsors, or scholarship programs. Health requirements are also important for some visas. Certain countries require medical certificates or vaccination records before granting a visa. For example, some nations ask for a yellow fever vaccination certificate if the applicant has traveled to areas with high yellow fever risk. During the COVID-19 pandemic, many countries required proof of vaccination or a negative test result before issuing visas. Visa applications for some countries may also require travel insurance. Travel insurance covers unexpected expenses such as medical emergencies, lost luggage, or trip cancellations. Many embassies require proof of travel insurance with a minimum coverage amount before granting a visa. Once all the documents are prepared, the applicant must review them carefully. Any missing document or incorrect information can lead to delays or rejection. Some embassies provide a checklist to help applicants ensure they have everything needed for the application. In the next part, we will discuss how to submit a visa application and what happens during the interview process. Submitting the visa application and attending the interview. Once all the required documents are ready, the next step is to submit the visa application. The process of submission may vary depending on the country and type of visa. Some embassies allow online applications, while others require applicants to visit a visa center or embassy in person. Understanding the correct process helps ensure a smooth application experience. Many countries now offer online visa applications. Applicants can fill out the visa form, upload the necessary documents, and pay the visa fee through an official website. Online applications are often faster and more convenient. However, some countries still require applicants to submit their documents in person. For in-person applications, an appointment is often needed. Many embassies and visa centers have an online booking system where applicants can choose a date and time for submission. It is important to book an appointment early because embassies may have a limited number of slots available each day. The next step is paying the visa fee. Most visa applications require a non-refundable payment, which can be made through credit cards, bank transfers, or cash payments at the embassy or visa center. Visa fees vary depending on the country, visa type, and duration of stay. Some countries offer expedited processing for an additional fee, which can speed up the visa approval process. Once the application is submitted, some applicants may be required to attend a visa interview. The visa interview is an important step where the visa officer asks questions to verify the applicant's details and purpose of travel. The interview is usually conducted at the embassy or consulate, and it plays a significant role in the final decision on the visa application. During the interview, the officer may ask questions such as, "Why do you want to visit this country? Long do you plan to stay? Do you have family or friends in the country? What do you do for work or study? How will you pay for your travel expenses? Have you traveled to other countries before?" The key to a successful visa interview is to answer truthfully and confidently. It is important to provide clear and honest answers without hesitation. If an applicant struggles to explain their purpose of travel or financial situation, it may raise doubts, leading to visa denial. For student visa applicants, the officer may ask about the chosen university, course details, and future career plans. Business visa applicants may need to explain their business activities, meetings, and company details. Tourists may be asked about their travel itinerary, accommodation plans, and return tickets. Some visa applications also require biometric data, such as fingerprints and a digital photograph. This is done at the visa center or embassy and helps with security checks. The process is quick and usually takes only a few minutes. After the interview and biometric collection, the applicant must wait for the visa decision. Processing times vary depending on the country and visa type. Some visas are approved within a few days, while others may take several weeks. Applicants can often check their visa status online using a tracking number. In some cases, the embassy may request additional documents before making a final decision. For example, if an applicant's financial proof is unclear, they may be asked to submit more bank statements or a sponsorship letter. It is important to respond quickly to such requests to avoid delays. Once the visa is approved, the applicant will receive a visa stamp or sticker in their passport. Some countries issue electronic visas, e-visas, that do not require a physical stamp. Instead, the visa approval is sent by email and must be printed or shown at immigration upon arrival. If the visa is denied, the embassy usually provides a reason for the rejection. Common reasons for visa denial include incomplete or incorrect documents, lack of financial proof, unclear travel purpose, previous visa violations, insufficient ties to the home country. If a visa is denied, the applicant may have the option to reapply or appeal the decision. Before reapplying, it is important to understand the reason for rejection and correct any mistakes in the application. After getting the visa and preparing for travel. After receiving the visa, the next step is preparing for the journey. Getting a visa does not guarantee entry into the country, so it is important to follow immigration rules carefully. Understanding what to do after visa approval helps ensure a smooth travel experience. One of the first things to do is check the visa details carefully. Mistakes on the visa, such as incorrect name spelling, wrong passport number, or incorrect visa validity dates, can cause problems at the airport or immigration. If any mistakes are found, the visa holder should contact the embassy or visa center immediately to correct them. Next, the traveler should book travel arrangements. This includes purchasing flight tickets, arranging accommodation, and planning transportation. Some visa types, especially tourist visas, require travelers to show return tickets upon arrival. It is also a good idea to check the baggage rules and travel restrictions of the airline. For those traveling to a country with a different currency, exchanging money before departure is recommended. Some countries allow travelers to use international credit or debit cards, but carrying some cash in the local currency is always helpful. Another important step is understanding the country's entry rules. Some countries require travelers to fill out arrival cards or customs declaration forms. These forms usually ask for personal details, travel purpose, and address of stay. Some travelers may also need to show proof of travel insurance, vaccination records, or COVID-19 test results, depending on the country's requirements. At the airport, travelers must go through immigration control. The immigration officer may ask for documents such as the passport, visa, return ticket, hotel booking, and proof of funds. Travelers should remain calm, answer questions clearly, and provide any required documents. If the officer has any doubts, they may ask additional questions or request more proof before allowing entry. For those with long-term visas, such as student or work visas, it is important to register with local authorities upon arrival. Many countries require foreign students and workers to register their address or apply for a residence permit. Within a certain period, failure to do so may lead to penalties or visa cancellation. Once inside the country, travelers should always follow visa conditions. Each visa has specific rules regarding duration of stay, work restrictions, and permitted activities. For example, a tourist visa does not allow working, while a student visa requires enrollment in an educational institution. Violating visa rules can result in fines, deportation, or future visa bans. Travelers should also keep their passport and visa safe. Losing a passport with a valid visa can create serious problems. It is a good idea to make copies of important documents and store them separately in case of loss or theft. Some travelers also keep digital copies on their phones or email accounts for easy access. If a traveler wants to extend their stay, they should apply for a visa extension before the visa expires. Some countries allow visa extensions for certain reasons, such as medical treatment, business needs, or ongoing studies. However, extensions are not always guaranteed, and overstaying a visa can lead to legal trouble. Finally, before leaving the country, travelers must check exit requirements. Some countries require an exit permit, payment of departure taxes, or submission of certain documents. Following the correct departure procedures ensures a smooth journey home without legal issues. Applying for a visa and traveling to a new country can be a complex process, but careful planning and following immigration rules make the experience much easier. Understanding visa policies, preparing documents properly, and respecting local laws help travelers enjoy a hassle-free trip and make the most of their time abroad.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Stay. Remain. An amount that is almost but not exact. Approximately. Someone who takes the responsibility for a person applying for a visa. Sponsor. A formal letter asking a person to come to a place. Invitation letter. Responsibility that links a person to a place or a thing. Tie. Something that shows the thing is true. Evidence. Have enough money to live alone. Do not need help with money. Financially independent. Things that are worth money that you own. Assets. Let you have something. Grant. A person whose job is to interview people for visas. Visa officer. An official document that allows you to live in a country. Resident permit. Embassy. A piece of paper you have to put information on to make a formal request. Application form.
Let's try that faster.
Let you have something. Grant. Have enough money to live alone. Do not need help with money. Financially independent. A person whose job is to interview people for visas. Visa officer. Someone who takes the responsibility for a person applying for a visa. Sponsor. Embassy. An official document that allows you to live in a country. Resident permit. Something that shows the thing is true. Evidence. A formal letter asking a person to come to a place. Invitation letter. Responsibility that links a person to a place or a thing. Tie. Stay. Remain. Things that are worth money that you own. Assets. An amount that is almost but not exact. Approximately. A piece of paper you have to put information on to make a formal request. Application form.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Sponsor. Nike is sponsoring our sports team. Sponsor. If you apply for a visa to another country, you must have someone who can sponsor you and guarantee that you have enough money. Sponsor. My father sponsored my visa application. Tie. I sold my house and closed my bank account. I don't have any more ties to my home country. Tie. Alvin enjoyed being single. He wasn't ready for the ties of family life. Tie. Diplomatic relations have improved and the ties between the two countries are stronger. Evidence. The evidence shows that this man is guilty. Evidence. The bank needs evidence that you own a car or house. Evidence. The police are searching the house for evidence that can help them find the criminal. So you have no house, no car, no investments, and no money at all. In fact, you have no assets. The total value of the company's assets is more than $1 billion. We have about $100,000 in assets. Grant. My college granted me a scholarship for being a good student. Grant. The genie of the magic lamp told me that he will grant me 3 wishes. Grant. He was granted a medal for fighting in the war.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode and learned something new. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. See you next time.